Welcome to Remembering the Forgotten, a space where leaders think out loud without polish or performance. No scripts, no personas, just what becomes audible when the noise drops and the mind is free to speak for itself. These conversations are not about delivering insight. They are about thinking together in real time, testing ideas against stillness, letting two open minds stretch each other. The intention is simple: to create a space where clarity can emerge and where listeners don't just consume perspectives, but feel permission to engage their own thinking more honestly. Today, I'm joined by Payman. Payman works at the intersection of voice, connection, and lived conviction, not as branding, but as lived path. From building global podcast platforms to mentoring leaders who speak from purpose rather than performance, his work consistently returns to one question: what happens when expression becomes honest? However, this conversation isn't about podcast funnels or monetization tricks or visibility as a number scheme. It's about alignment. It's about voice as alignment, about removing the need to impress so something real can be heard. What matters here isn't output, it's resonance. The moment where speaking stops being strategic and starts being truthful. This is a conversation about expression without strain, connection without agenda, and what becomes possible when your voice no longer needs protection to exist. With that, welcome Payman to the show.
Hey, Marcus. Thank you for the beautiful introduction. Pleasure of mine. Good morning,
You're
good
welcome.
evening, good evening, everyone listening, watching this later on. I'm excited.
I know it's early for you. That it is late for me, right?
7:30 at Friday morning. Yes, it's good.
Exactly. 7:38 at night, Thursday. That's the beauty of being international, right? 12 hours time difference. So
Yes.
before we begin, when I speak of coherence, I'm pointing to a state where nothing inside is in conflict. Body, thoughts, emotions, and action aligned, moving as one. No push, no urgency, no fear driving the moment. And when I speak of stillness, I don't mean silence. I mean the part of you untouched by expectation or performance. The place that knows before the mind tries to manage it. That's the ground I'd like us to meet on today.
I love that.
So, Payman, let's dive in. Where can you just be yourself, untouched by expectation or performance?
Great question. Love that. My goal, my aim is to be as much as possible in that state of mind, as much as I can, not just for business, but even in personal life, to be in alignment. My driving compass has always, especially since my awakening, has been listening to my gut feeling, my intuition, speaking from the
Mhm.
heart. I've walked out of business meetings, dates, if I felt something off in my gut feeling,
Mhm.
because that is literally our gut, our intuition has two main purposes. One, to protect you, keep you safe and alive, and two, guide you to the next phase of your journey. The 3 to 4 decisions that completely changed, transformed, and saved my life have all come as a result of me listening to that voice.
Mhm.
I'm not talking about live streaming thing like starting my podcast, starting my academy, sharing my story, my books, saying yes to my first public speaking, saying yes to my first TED talk, even something as simple as walking at night after dinner on a sidewalk, and out of the blue you have an urge just to take one step to your left, and the moment you do, you see a motorcycle coming straight towards you. That happened
Mhm.
to me countless times. So always, always, always now I religiously listen to that voice, that intuition, that gut feeling, whatever you want to call it, because that's our soul talking to us. And our soul, as I mentioned, is literally here to save us and to guide us
Mhm.
and to protect us. So that's my driving force, my compass. I always listen to it, no matter what, whether it's business, relationships, friendships, anything. I listen to that. That's my ultimate deciding factor, so to speak, to make a
And
decision.
where can you just be yourself, untouched by expectation or performance?
When I'm on a call when I do my podcast,
Mhm.
when sorry, when I interview my guests, because just like you said, I start my podcast with just one question. So tell us, we're going to talk about your business later on, Marcus, but tell us, who's Marcus first and foremost as a man, as a human being, so we can really get to. Oh, I started another question. So tell us, Marcus, what's your story? And I just stay quiet and listen. And because I
Mhm.
love listening to people's story, I'm a collector of stories. I love listening, learning about people. That's why I love interviewing people because I love learning. I love getting to know people, and that's where I'm at my most creative with myself because I really am. This is what I am. I love inspiring, empowering, and for me to do that, that's why God gave us 2 ears and one mouth to listen twice as much and to speak.
So, why would you say, and I'm absolutely sure many people who listen or watch this episode will, kindly disagree that when they are hosting a podcast show, that they are not untouched by expectation or performance, that they are actually heavily under expectation or performance. So, why do you think it's different with you?
Because for me, I tell my guests straight from the start, hey, listen, I'm the host, you're the star. Tell me, share whatever you want that's gonna make you shine bright and kind of shining. Share whatever is gonna make you that's gonna make you win. My platform is to make them shine, not me. I'm just the host. That's why I say, so tell us, what's your story? And I just shut up and listen and I let them shine, literally. That's why I have no expectations. I just let, I'm the host. They are the
So you're
star.
basically a vessel that makes it
Yes.
possible for the other person to shine.
I make them get as comfortable as possible so they can feel open up, not just open up, but literally open up the heart. I've had countless times in the last 5 years and over 420 episodes, people telling me, this is the first time I'm sharing this to anyone outside
Mhm.
of my spouse, my immediate family. And
Mhm.
that's one of the greatest rewards that you can get
I agree.
as a person, someone that
Mhm.
feels so open that they will share with you things that they have not shared with anyone else. I had a
Mhm.
man became a friend of mine. He was a very successful basketball coach, NCAA coach, quite a few of his players becoming NBA players, NBA champions, some of them even
Mhm.
household names.
Mhm.
Something happened, tragedy hit him. He lost not one, but his two daughters at the age of 7 in a span of 4 years to the same disease. Losing one daughter at that age is
Mhm.
enough to destroy any man or woman, but losing
Mhm.
two can be beyond destroy them. He did
Three
something he
children,
wasn't
right?
supposed to do. He ended up in jail for 7 years. And in jail,
Mhm.
they had to make him re completely forget about his past, reinvent
Mhm.
himself.
Mhm.
And he always felt ashamed of that. He didn't share that with just his immediate family.
Mhm.
And when he shared that on a podcast publicly, it was almost on the verge of tears. He said, wow, I feel so, it's almost like
Mhm.
a therapy. And
Mhm.
this is what one of the greatest rewards for me when I see people like this, not just open up, but open up their heart. And then
Mhm.
they embrace the gifts and then loud and proud, and they share the gifts even loud and prouder, not with the world, but to their world. And that to me
Mhm.
is one of the greatest rewards and things I love when I interview people on my podcast.
Mhm.
Making people comfortable to really identify look at their gift, look at their life, what happened to them, and realize that that was not didn't happen to them, but for them. And even in the most
Mhm.
tragic, like losing two daughters
Mhm.
to sickness in the span of 4 years, and then ended up spending 7 years in jail. Doesn't get any worse than that, tragic than that.
Mhm.
And then this man, looking at this as a beautiful gift, he told me on my podcast, and I had the pleasure and honor of meeting him in person in Malaysia last year. He told me him going to jail was the greatest thing that happened to his life. I have
Mhm.
other people telling me getting cancer, stage 4 cancer, which is terminal,
Mhm.
them getting diagnosed with that was the greatest gift of their life. Or people becoming a paraplegic, glued to a wheelchair for the rest of their life, telling me this was the greatest gift of their life. How can, in an unawakened mind, someone can ask, what are they talking about? What are they smoking? But then these people, they
Mhm.
were able to see beyond just the physical. They was able to see what was that trying. As I shared to you last time when we spoke, the two things that completely saved my life, one was understanding to listen to my voice, to my gut feeling, intuition. And second was to understand the tremendous power of question, asking the right question. And in this
Mhm.
case, no matter what happened to us, Marcus, even in the most painful, tragic, heartbreaking situation, what I learned is to look at them and ask these two questions. Number one, what is that trying to teach me? Number two, what is that trying what is the lesson for me to learn that? And the third one I would add, what is that trying to tell me? So when these
Mhm.
amazing men and women looked at going to jail, surviving terminal diseases, becoming paraplegic for the rest of their lives, looking at that and say, wow, what is that trying to teach me?
Mhm.
So
It's deep.
these are the things that really, when you really allow people to really feel very comfortable with you, when they really open up their heart, not just open up their heart,
Mhm.
share the deepest worries, or even in a way, so to speak, what they feel ashamed of, afraid of to sharing,
Mhm.
then they realize, wow, this is not to be ashamed of. I kept inside. This is my goal. And as I like, one of my favorite quotes, and that is, your crop is your gold. Or in a more PC way, your mess is your message. If all of
Mhm.
us were to look at the most painful, tragic, heartbreaking chapter of a life and look at it from a perspective of not what did I do to deserve this, why, but what was that trying to teach me? What is a lesson for me to learn to that? And what was that trying to tell me? Then you will see for the glorious gift that it was.
Mhm.
What is a description of opportunity as an obstacle? How do you overcome an obstacle? You look at this as an opportunity, not as a setback. Same thing in here. That was one of the greatest, deepest breakthroughs for myself to learn, to understand, and realize. And now sharing that with my guests on my podcast, on my students, my clients, on my academy.
Why would you say that we need places like you mentioned when you're on your podcast to be yourself, untouched by expectation or performance? And as I got to know you, Payman, you are probably way more yourself, untouched by expectation or performance than most people I know.
Well,
Why
after
do you think we can't be more ourselves?
just like you said, perfectly said in a question, because of expectation, because we have a role to play.
Hmm.
Me, coming from a background I come, being born in Afghanistan, growing up in France, I had to juggle not one but two cultures, the Persian
Yeah, you
Muslim
came around.
and the Western. So, and the
Hmm.
time came that I was sick and tired of playing this game. But screw that. And
Hmm.
after having gone through so much crap in my life, that now I don't give a damn about anything else. I
Hmm.
just follow my instinct. I don't even live nowadays to for other people. I used to always put others' needs, other priorities before mine. That's why I was so freaking miserable. That's why I
Hmm.
became lost, depressed, broke, even suicidal. That
Hmm.
was I had to get to that. low level to understand enough of that. I don't need to live with expectation of others. The only expectation is that myself, what do I want to just let myself be guided by my soul, my intuition, my gut feeling.
Mhm.
Of course, within reason, to do good, not to go and do havoc and do bad. Absolutely not. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We can
Mhm.
control that. Some people use that for destruction, for evil, but my focus is toward inspiring, empowering, doing good,
Mhm.
uplifting. See? So
So
everything
it
is
was
centered.
interesting.
Yeah,
So you basically say you suddenly realized I am living someone else's life, someone else's script.
yeah.
Can you recall a pivotal moment, Payman, where that hit you, and what changed after you had that realization in you?
Well, as I said, growing up in a family, a very high achiever family. My father was very established, successful. I was
Uh-huh.
expected to walk in his shoes. I was expected to become a doctor, a lawyer, or something like that.
That
I
was
was actually,
Afghanistan, right?
yes, but I left Afghanistan when I was 4 years old, but I grew up in France and Canada. So again, my father was
Okay.
extremely successful. He was one of the first people back in Afghanistan in the 60s to get a full scholarship for both his undergrad and postgraduate in France in the 60s.
Wow. That says
Archaeologist,
something.
geologist, engineer. So he has multiple degrees. He was always
Mhm.
telling me by the time I was 24 year age, I had all the two masters. Look at you, you have nothing. You know,
Wow.
always being. I know he said that with love, but when you're
Yeah.
24, you don't realize it. You say,
Yeah.
why does he hate me like this? But
Right. Right.
a time came, I was literally about to go to law school, even went to the school, talked to the dean. They said, yes, send your application, you're in. And then I talked to lawyers. A friend of mine was a lawyer, and I said, do I really want to be in an office 80 hours a day? Sorry, 80 hours a
Mhm.
week? Yeah, the money is good. It's going to be great, the prestige and all that. But is this really how you want to live? And me, I'm an extremely fiercely independent person. Traveling
Mhm.
is my drug. I need that. I'm an air sign,
Mhm.
Libra. So by air, we are air sign. We love traveling,
Mhm.
always on the go. I said, I don't see myself in a cubicle in an office for 80 hours a week. That's why,
Mhm.
to the horror of my parents, I didn't end up sending my application to law school back in 2008. Instead, I started my first online business as a result of reading Tim Ferriss's The 4 Hour Work Week. I'm sure you've heard of that book. And that's,
Classic.
yeah, I started out building an online business, living the laptop lifestyle, staying home. At the time, I was young, playing video games most of it, but still, I was running my business, making money.
Uh-huh.
My parents
Uh-huh.
were worried. Hey, are you selling drugs? What are you doing? Don't get in
Uh-huh.
trouble. Don't get in trouble. You know? But I was, hey, no, but back in 2008, especially for parents who coming from a different world, different mindset, it wasn't easy to make them understand you can make money online. And I'm talking 2008. Nowadays it's more common, but back
Uh-huh.
then it was completely new.
Uh-huh.
So hmm, that was one of the moments for me when I looked at the path of a lawyer. My path was very already pre-established. I was supposed to become a successful, prestigious international lawyer. I speak 6 languages,
Uh-huh.
of
Uh-huh.
traveling, business. So that was a match made in
Would have
heaven,
made sense, huh?
at least in theory, on paper.
Uh-huh.
But deep
Uh-huh.
down, it was completely incongruent with who I
Uh-huh.
was. I wanted to go
Uh-huh.
places, to do things, meet people. And that's something you can do while you're juggling cases and going to the courtroom, whatever. So
Uh-huh.
that's one of the first things for me that allowed me to really stand out for myself. And also, in my background and my culture, it was very common to get married quite early.
That's exactly my next question. The job was predetermined. What about your wife?
I was supposed to get married. I could have gotten married at least 5 times,
Because at
but
age of 34, right? You'd be in Afghanistan, you'll be married like,
at 35, I would have been a grandpa if I was
right,
still.
50 times already, right?
Yeah. But hmm, hmm, sorry.
Take your time.
But because of my fierce independence, I didn't want to get. I one of the terminologies I can't stand is settling down, because settling down for me means being in a prison almost. You know what I mean?
Basically dying, preparing for death, right?
That's why I used to be, and to this I'm still am. I am a commitment phobic. Even for my
Mhm,
cell phone, I don't do contracts. I do month to month.
mhm,
For my
mhm,
place,
mhm,
I pay month to month because
mhm,
hey, the world is beautiful.
mhm,
I'm here in Vietnam. Maybe next week I'm flying to Malaysia, and if I have a
mhm.
12 months lease, I'm stuck.
Right. Makes
That's a
sense.
simple
Yeah.
way. But this is what I mean. I was supposed to get married first when I was 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, and then my parents
Mhm.
they gave up on me.
Where would you say this independence come from?
It's within me. It's a fire inside of me.
Mhm. And it
I
never
can,
lost you, right?
sorry?
It never left you.
And I hope it never will.
Mhm,
Because that fire inside of you, that fire coupled with that inner child in you is literally the essence of your living. The moment you lose either of
mhm,
those, you might as well dig a hole and just lay down.
mhm.
Because that's what
Yeah,
makes
that's
you,
why so many zombies are walking around today, right?
yeah. I mean, if you have
Mhm,
nothing, if you suppress that inner child,
mhm,
if you suppress your dreams, or if you suppress that independence, what are you living for? Paycheck to paycheck, getting a bigger car, bigger house, and whatnot? No. I lived that lifestyle. I had the nice condo in downtown, suit and tie and all that, but I was miserable. And after each paycheck, I was getting paid a lot of money. I was left literally after paying all the things I had to pay, $50 a week. I said, that's not what I want to live for.
It's the interesting thing, right? It's not the big paycheck. It's
No.
the small expenses that make the difference. So
Speaking
tell me,
speaking of
tell me one thing,
Marcus,
please.
Marcus,
Mhm,
once sorry. Speaking
mhm.
of expectation, once you get to a certain level, you're supposed to have the nice car, the nice
That's
suit,
exactly it.
right thing. You have to live up with keep up with the Jones, and when you do that, that
Yeah,
big check becomes tiny. I'm getting
yeah,
goosebumps right now. I don't know if you can see it, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah,
from
yeah.
the heart.
Hmm.
I'm sure you
Hmm.
can relate to that.
And that is the craziness because you see, when I work with my clients, I often experience the following thing. It is kind of a hamster wheel,
Oh yes,
and it's not humans on that hamster wheel, it's actually hamsters on that hamster wheel. So people need that to be able to have a job where they get paid a lot of money so they can spend a lot of money because spending a lot of money means I am important. But then they need to be almost broke at the end of the month because that solidifies and proves their worth and value,
that's what
right?
keeps on the wheel.
Exactly.
To keep paying for it.
So,
Yeah.
did you experience that in a similar way? That it was almost like a self fulfilling prophecy,
Yes. Yes. All the
which
time.
is crazy if you
All
think
the
about
time.
that.
Listen, I was making good money, and then after paying the mortgage, the taxes, the fees, the food, and all that, I was literally left with $50. I was
Mhm.
depressed. That's not what I want to live for. Screw that, you know?
So,
But I,
that's when the question is this it? Or is there more
yes,
kicked in, I assume, right?
but I still had to keep doing it so that to keep paying for that. I was
Yeah,
supporting
yeah.
and all that, as the eldest child, that's my responsibility.
Hmm.
Make sure that my siblings are can stand on the feet, they can go to university,
Hmm.
all that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I had to, I felt stuck.
Hmm.
I felt stuck and I was too young to realize it, but I knew that this is not a way to that I want to keep living. And I was always my mind was, how can I escape this? And this is why when I had the opportunity at the crossroad, this was law school and law career, prestigious,
Hmm.
successful, wealthy, whatever, but stuck. And this was my own business, freedom, and of course, and stability. There was months I
Hmm.
wouldn't make any money, and then other months I would be making a lot of money. This is the
Hmm.
reality of a business, your own business.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a quite interesting thing to look at.
Hmm.
And the thing is, courage. when do you find the courage within you to say, enough of that? I need to live for myself. I need to follow my heart, because that's not the way. I did not see myself going until another 40 years doing the same thing. Sure, the money might have
That is so interesting,
changed.
Payman, that too many people have to go into disaster or tragedy or illness or go broke to actually let their inner voice to be heard, which says, sorry, Marcus, this is not sustainable. Um, this can't be it. There must be more. So please tell me about that moment when you really realized, screw the expectations of my parents, screw the expectations of my you know
Culture and all that. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, exactly, culture and everything. And you said, look, I cannot continue like this. Was there a moment like that?
Oh, quite a few. For the first one, the most obvious one was the one I just shared, the crossroad, law school or business.
Yeah, yeah,
For 6 months, I did not tell my parents that I had not sent my application. I told them, oh, there's a strike, the application was lost. And they say, listen, we're in Canada, we're not in Ethiopia, whatever, Come
yeah,
on,
yeah,
what happened to that thing? Can you track it? Can you resend it? Did you make a
yeah,
copy of it?
yeah,
This one, But I said, and finally, when I started making money, that's when I said, oh, by
yeah,
the way, here's the money. Look at the bank. Oh, what did you do? Did you sell drugs or anything?
yeah.
Don't get us in trouble.
Interesting.
No, I showed up my
Yeah,
website. I was doing affiliate marketing, promoting a
yeah.
high-end vacation membership
Hmm.
for $3,000. I'm making $1,000 per sale. I
Hmm.
was placing ads in magazines. People go on my website. Some of them buy direct, some of them book a call, and there is this
Hmm.
history.
Hmm.
That was one. Another one, I had just another such moment last week, because
Interesting.
and that was a health wake up call, because especially the last 2 months I moved to a more trendy area in town, eating out all the
Uh-huh.
time.
Uh-huh.
I resumed the drinking, and by drinking I don't mean a lot, but at least one or two drinks a night. And
Hmm.
then I said, that's okay, don't worry. And then since the start of the year, I've been coughing a lot, as you can imagine, as you can
Hmm.
see. And also
Hmm.
at night, I had a pain on my neck here that would really make it difficult for me to sleep. And finally, last Friday, a week ago, I went to the hospital here. As soon as I arrived, they took my blood pressure and they freaked out. They sent me straight to emergency because my blood
Uh,
pressure was to the roof, almost to the hypertension. So you're gonna have a stroke. I said, what? I don't have anything. They run checks on me and all that. So as soon as I came out of that hospital, I made a decision right there and then that I'm gonna stop eating out, start cooking. I went to the market, loaded up on fruits, veggies, chicken, steak, eggs. For the last week, I've eaten more raw garlic, more ginger than an entire year last year, even as candies and
yeah.
natural honey. And as a result of that, I see that honestly as a yellow card from life in the
Uh-huh.
45th minute just before halftime, because I'm 45,
Yeah,
yellow
yeah,
card from life.
yeah, yeah.
Pay attention.
Hmm.
Otherwise,
Hmm.
I'm gonna send you a red card, you
Hmm.
know? And
Hmm.
I saw it for what it was, not what have I done, why, but what is it
Hmm.
trying to teach me? What is the lesson for me to learn? What is that trying to tell me?
Hmm.
So now I'm becoming health freak. I tell my friends I'm not going out with you anymore. I'm not drinking anymore, at least for a year
Hmm.
until I can bring my pressure down and
Hmm.
all that. And you see that all the time. But maybe I'm because of what I went through, maybe it was fast for me to realize that this is
Hmm.
universe talking to me. Maybe if I hadn't
Hmm.
gone through what all the crap I went already, maybe I would
Hmm.
have taken drastic measures right away. I would say, oh, it's okay,
Hmm.
chill down, take some medications and all
Yeah,
that.
and it's pretty normal, right? So almost everyone has it.
Yeah.
Everyone drinks, everyone has greasy food, take in, take in, take in. Like here in the US, if I look at the normal culture, shocking. I don't think I could survive a month. Literally, no chance. No chance. So it's interesting. So you went to the hospital and they said, look, your blood pressure is through the roof. And you, as an intelligent person, probably did the math and you realized, yeah, life change could actually change my life.
You know, I live in a very trendy area with all the bars and all the restaurants. I swear to you, 10 o'clock in the morning, there's bar open, there's guys drinking beers at 8, 9 a.m.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
What is going on? Of course, I'm
Yeah.
not here to judge because we don't know what they're going through, you know?
Right.
It
Right.
can push someone to do that to numb themselves.
Yeah.
But when I see these men, I say, wow, what's going on? Part of me is screaming to them, say, come on, guys, don't drink at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Uh-huh.
But of course, I can't do that.
Yeah. Right.
Decide their lives the way they want.
Have you analyzed for yourself, if it's not too personal, Payman, what triggered you to have these 2 drinks every night and basically fill you up with something you knew food-wise, it's not healthy?
You mentioned expectations, social pressure. You go out to the friends, even if you don't intend to drink.
Interesting.
Having a beer, you don't want to be left out. They want to go for pizza. I love pizza.
Right.
But even if you don't drink a beer, a Coca is like, in one can of Coca, there's like what? This much sugar.
Yeah, sugar like crazy. Yeah, exactly.
I'm even telling my friends, hey, go for a water or go for a diet on. They say, no, just one.
Yeah.
Now I don't even tell them anymore because I don't want to I don't want them to see me as rude, but hey.
Yeah, has to find his own way.
But nowadays, when I go out and I see people, even the sight of a glass of beer repulses me.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's your system literally speaking out loud after that wake-up shock at that hospital where they say, look, sorry, friend.
Just like in football, you get a yellow card, next time you're out.
Exactly. Yeah. And is it now reacting in your esophagus area when you have to cough or?
No. What do you mean, sorry?
No? Like when you have to cough and you can't cough, like, are you kind of clearing your throat?
Sometimes, but not always.
But this has nothing to do with what you just went through a couple of weeks ago.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. It's just that
Interesting.
Here in Vietnam, there's been a virus called flu A. Flu and A. Pretty much everybody around me, even in Canada, pretty much everybody is, even in the US, they're coughing. Might be the time of the year.
That's interesting.
Okay. So
for you, you almost like suppress the cough. Like if you would cough out loud, I would hear it as a cough. So it's basically, once again, expectation.
And also because
I cannot cough openly, so let's suppress that somehow.
No.
No, I'm joking.
No. I don't suppress the cough because it's not healthy. You let it cough naturally,
Yeah.
But yeah, and at first I was taking medicine, it was helping, but now I drink. After this call, I'm gonna make my power drink, which is hot water, few pieces of ginger, cinnamon powder, pinch of pepper, and honey. Mix it up, and some.
I see that.
If you want.
Yeah.
It's not the best tasting, but it's magic.
It helps, huh?
And everything, pain for the throat. This is one of those classic grandma's recipes, It works. It's been passed down from millennia because it works. It's easy. It's natural. I went to a massage therapist yesterday, amazing lady. There's some massage therapists, as soon as they see you, they can see, oh, you have this wrong in your body. They have this gift. As soon as she saw me, she said, your muscles are so tense. And because your muscles are so tense, it affects the blood circulation, and that's what's increasing your blood pressure. She told me, come see me once a week, and you will not need any hospital or medicine. I said, I'm all in. Where do I sign?
It
It
makes
was
sense.
painful, but
Mhm.
hey, I'll take that kind of pain. A little,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's the
I
same with the
really,
Thai massage, right? In the first moment, it's just like almost kills you, but you
yeah,
know that pain actually frees you, which is amazing.
yes. This is not Thai massage. It's more like a therapeutic Vietnamese style, natural.
Interesting.
It's almost a mix between natural and acupuncture, but without the
Uh-huh.
needles. Just the
Uh-huh.
pressure
Uh-huh.
points, finger.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was pressing some part of my body, my calf, my neck. They were hurting like crazy. She said, "Wow."
Uh-huh.
And he said,
Uh-huh.
"These are the pressure points that are stuck. We need to release the muscle. Once you release
And
the
that's why
muscle,
it hurts, right? Because it's stuck.
yeah, exactly. Once you release the muscle, guess
Yeah.
what? It allows the blood to flow freely. And guess what?
Yeah.
When the blood flows freely, your blood pressure goes down. Everything
Yeah.
is tied to that.
Yeah, I see that. So definitely best of success for that journey because it's definitely better than
Thank
going to the
you.
doctors and eating pills, right?
Listen, I have no choice. It's do or die, literally.
Yeah.
Just like a yellow card. You cannot go do a reckless tackle on a guy because
Yeah.
otherwise you'll be shown the red. And red means you
Yeah.
have
No, that
to,
makes sense. That comes faster than we think, right?
especially after you've been given a warning.
Two yellows, the third one,
Nine,
strike,
nine,
third
nine.
strike and
Exactly.
out, right? Absolutely.
Yeah,
So, so what I'm always interested in is if you are in coherence,
yeah. Mhm.
if you are in stillness, and as we know, stillness is not silence.
Mhm.
Stillness is when everything flows. What can pull you away from yourself?
It used to be
And
distraction,
what helps
shiny.
you to come back?
For me, it used to be distraction and shiny objects. Oh, try this. Let's do this. Let's do this. But
Yeah,
now I learned to, again, because I was living for others, because I always put other people's needs, attention, desires, goals before mine. I used to say, always say yes, yes, yes to everything. And you know what? When you say yes to other people, guess what you're saying no
yeah,
to
to
yourself,
yourself.
and vice
Yeah,
versa. Now I'm
yeah,
getting approached, pitched, invited all the time. My default answer is thank you very much. I'm honored, but this
yeah,
doesn't align with where I'm going. But when you
yeah.
say no to others, you're saying yes to what? To yourself. That doesn't mean you're being a selfish prick. It means you're putting yourself first because you need to become the best version of yourself so you can be the most value for others. So this is not from a point of being a selfish prick, but being
Let's
very
stay here. Let's stay here for a
altruistic.
moment.
Yeah.
Let's stay here for a moment. This is highly, highly interesting where we're going next.
Mhm.
Because many people do accuse someone like you and me of being selfish because it does not fit into the societal norm and understanding. So let me put out a thesis which just came to my mind right now.
Mhm.
Is it possible that stillness is such a scarce commodity today because people never get to that quiet place inside because they're always living for somebody else? And like I have this image where it shows like a person in the middle of the world and all the different nervous systems fired with each other against each other, and you're basically inputted by 8.5 was how many is like billion now, right? 8.5 billion in the world citizens. You're
Yeah.
basically fired constantly through these 8.5 billion nervous systems. How could you get into stillness where your mind and your heart goes into coherence and suddenly the original design, you call it intuition, when this suddenly can actually start to speak and we hear it? So it's only possible, if we use the societal norm again, to become a selfish prick for a while, that somebody says, but Payman, that's not nice. You used to be somebody who helped me. Yeah, what did I help you? I helped you basically to manage your life so you did not have to. And of course, when I pull back and say, honestly, thank you, but no thank you, This is my favorite thing. Thanks, but no thanks. Right? I'm really honored. So as you say it. So it is natural that people feel pushed back, for example. But
Yes.
I believe it is the key to get there.
You know, that's a beautiful point. And what I notice in my experience is that it's too hard for people to get out of that rut because they're too invested. Too many people
Yeah.
depend on them. They've built this persona. Oh, you're the
Yeah,
person.
yeah.
And the only way, unfortunately, for someone to get out of that is to literally hit the bottom, lose it all. Just like what
Uh-huh,
happened to me 5, 6 years
uh-huh.
ago when I was in Hong Kong, completely
Yeah.
broke, desperate, credit cards canceled, credit destroyed. I literally had to start not from zero, but from -5. And
Mhm,
unfortunately, that's what it takes of someone that completely, ignores the health. They have to be in the hospital with a tube
uh-huh,
with
uh-huh,
something serious, life-threatening for them to say, "Holy smoke, I
uh-huh,
have to really do something." When they really
mhm,
get a yellow card, maybe like an orange card from life, hey, you're
mhm,
just a little inches away from checking out.
mhm,
Unfortunately, that's what it takes for people to really, really understand the gravity of what they're going through because they're too invested, too deeply invested into. They cannot overnight go to the spouse or the boss, say, "Oh, sorry, I'm not doing this anymore." What do you mean?
mhm,
You're leaving.
mhm,
But when you're faced with that, when you literally lose it all, or you're literally in an hospital bed or something very serious, then you put everything into perspective. You say, "Well, what's more
mhm,
important?" And it's ironically in those moments of really low thing that really realize what's really important. For
mhm,
example, COVID. Yes, it's been an absolute horrible thing for humanity, but as human species, we need it as a wake-up call to really realize what
mhm,
really mattered. A lot of people since COVID, they stopped chasing the corporate dream. Instead,
mhm,
more and more people are quitting their jobs and following, pursuing fulfillment, taking care of
mhm,
themselves, working from home, doing things that really allow them to be happy, fulfilled,
mhm,
to find balance, not just go, 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 accumulate things and climb the ladder, keeping up with the Joneses, buying the next watch or iPhone or whatever, or a house, a bigger car. No, because just like the saying, you come in this world naked alone and you leave naked alone. All the
mhm,
things stay behind. And the sooner we understand that, the sooner we're always going to be in a much, much better position up
mhm,
here. I wish there was a way, a shortcut for people to reach to that level without having to go to the pain of losing it all, or being in a hospital bed.
mhm,
But unfortunately, that's where we are. And it took me to go to my low to go back.
mhm,
We all have to go through that. Unfortunately, there's no other because we tend to be stubborn as a human being. Even when you're a child, your parents tell you don't put your hand on the stove or don't drive ride your bike too fast. You're not gonna listen until you get that axe, until you burn yourself. That's how we
mhm,
learn.
mhm,
Same thing in life with adults. Until you really have a burnout, breakdown, literally tied to a tube and a bed, that's when you really start to really smell the roses, so to speak.
You know, it's interesting. Let me put out quite a provocative thesis, Payman.
Mhm.
Are most of the people really adults?
There are what,
Or
sorry?
are they really adults?
Oh,
Or aren't they just grown children?
I love that.
This is
Yeah.
provocative. And
Oh,
I
I
can tell you, I ask this question at any hierarchy level in a company, at any hierarchy level, because that has nothing to do with being educated, it has nothing to do with having money.
I will age, yes.
Exactly. So if you think about that, doesn't it take a level of becoming a grown up, not someone who is grown from a child level, but becoming a grown up? And isn't that adulthood what you just said? Did you get to the point where you say, no, to be honest, my behavior was quite childlike. When I was young, it was about touching the stove, and now it's about touching anything else. Life tells me something. Let's be honest, life told us way before the warning came, way before the yellow light or the yellow card. So if we had listened, maybe we even heard it, because I could tell you, I do not know many times that I really touched the stove. I was somebody who listened when they said it hurts,
You're an exception.
because I did not like the pain.
Maybe
But
you
believe
felt the
me,
pain once and that was enough for you, just a little
yeah,
bit.
I probably just touched slightly to see, is it really that hot? Is it really that hot? But at the same time, I missed out on many things. I probably grew up way too fast, way too fast. But I think really to see that we are basically surrounded by children in grown up clothes who have grown size wise, stature wise. And I believe that puts everything into perspective in regards to our expectation to society. And honestly, I don't care whether that person sits in Washington in the White House, or whether that person sits on a mountain somewhere in a little village. That explains to me why and how is it possible that we are in a situation where we are, simply because of that. We are not surrounded by adults, we are surrounded by children who have grown.
Absolutely. Perfectly said. Yes, I see that.
How suddenly coming like that?
You see some people who are just either too spoiled, never been told no, and they
Yes.
and that applies from people around you to even people at the highest level, like say presidents. I'm not gonna name anyone, but you know who I'm talking about. Like a little prick.
Right.
And he just bully and all that, does his way and my way or highway.
Yeah. Yeah. It's literally a child in grown up clothes.
Yes.
And the interesting thing is, surrounded by children in grown up clothes.
Surrounded by
And I can
yes
tell
men.
you, it's not different when I look at the parliament in Switzerland than when I look at the Congress here in the US. It's not different.
Canada. Same everywhere.
It's the same everywhere. So that is an interesting thing. So this lets me bring me to my last question. So this is something that doesn't affect you too much. But if someone feels really overwhelmed right now, what would you want them to return to?
For me, what I do is to be able to reconnect with their life, ask themselves better questions. What is this trying to teach me? Whatever situation may be going to. Number two, reconnect with yourself, whether it's to listen to that voice, whether it's to meditation, prayer, incantation, writing, painting, whatever. Find your outlet. For me, I have a deep connection with water. Maybe I was a elf in a past life coming from a water world because I need to see the water, whether it's the sea or a swimming pool. I take long showers in the morning, like 20, 30 minutes, counting my blessings, literally praying under the water. And I say, universe, inspire me. Mind you, every time, let's say I have to make an important decision, I don't know what to do. I say, universe, inspire me. Close my eyes, either under the shower or I just go sit on the beach, listening to the waves. Or when I'm in Malaysia, go to the swimming pool. Before I dive, I hold my breath and I say, universe, inspire me. Again, not every time, but a lot of time I get inspiration. Communication is a flash in your mind and your mind's eye. Oh, that's what I need to do. So again, find a way to reconnect with yourself to whatever it is. Some people is to singing, writing, music, painting, drawing, dancing. Find your outlet. We all have a different outlet. That's what makes us so incredibly interesting, because if everybody was doing the same way, it would be one very boring world. So we're all unique. Find a way to reconnect with yourself. Meditation, prayer, arts, whatever, sports. And then before you start those activities, ask yourself, Close your eyes, say, universe, inspire me, show me the way. Universe, God, whatever you believe in, you know? This is my way. I'm not saying this is what's going to work for everyone. That's what I do. For me, for example,
What a beautiful way.
meditation for me has been a challenge up to now because my mind is going at the speed of light. I cannot shut it down. Even my sister, older sister, she took the Dolores Cannon's training to become a hypnotherapist. She tried for 2 hours last time I was in Canada to do a past life reading on me. For the life of me, I could not shut my mind. And I felt bad. I felt so bad the first time. I went home, second time, I felt so bad. I invented it. I created what I thought what she wanted. Of course, I hope she doesn't listen to this. But this is true. I recognize my shortcomings. My shortcomings. I can, or rather, I haven't been able to do so far. But instead, what I can do is water, connection with water, shower, sitting in front of the beach, just listening to the waves and just ask, or even going under the water, holding my breath, swimming on the water, say, universe, inspire me. Point is, find your way to connect with yourself. And then go all in. Go deep.
What a beautiful way to end our show, Payman. Thank you so much for having been my guest.
Pleasure's all mine. You're an amazing guest. You ask amazing questions. Just like they say, it takes two to tango.
Indeed, it does. Thank you.
Pleasure's all mine.
This was Remembering the Forgotten, a conversation held in clarity, not performance. If something in this exchange shifted how you see, let it stay with you. A few quiet pointers are waiting below.